Have you ever found yourself looking in the mirror, trying to convince yourself that everything is fine, that the person staring back at you is someone you can live with, someone you can respect? But deep down you know it's a lie. You know there's something missing, something hollow in the way you look at yourself. You might go through the motions pretending that you're okay, but the truth is, you're at war with yourself. And that war, silent and slow, eats away at your very core. The truth is, you cannot escape from it. No amount of distractions, no external validations will shield you from the one enemy that never stops haunting you: yourself. Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." These words don't just resonate, they pierce the soul. Because accepting yourself means facing every dark corner of your mind, every broken part, every flaw you've hidden from the world and yourself. It means confronting the aspects of who you are that you've spent a lifetime burying, denying, or trying to outrun. It means owning your shadows, your weaknesses, your failures, and not just acknowledging them, but embracing them. And in that acceptance, that terrifying acceptance, lies the power of self-respect. Self-respect isn't something that comes from what others think of you, or from the titles you've earned, or the praise you receive. It doesn't come from social media likes, or the applause of a crowd, or the approval of anyone else. No, self-respect comes from within, and it begins with your ability to face the truth about who you are, and to stand by it. But here's the catch. Self-respect isn't a luxury, it's non-negotiable. Without it, everything you do, every decision you make becomes tainted by a lack of authenticity. Without self-respect, you are nothing more than a puppet of external forces, constantly chasing approval and running from your own truth. You might think that self-respect is something that's earned through hard work, through success, or through being liked. But that's a lie. The truth is, self-respect is something you must claim. It's a hard, uncomfortable truth that no one wants to face. You are responsible for how you treat yourself. It's not about waiting for someone to give it to you, or waiting for the right moment to deserve it. It's about giving it to yourself, right here, right now, with all the brokenness and imperfection you carry. Because if you can't respect yourself in your darkest moments, when the world is falling apart and everything seems pointless, then you'll never truly know what self-respect means. It's easy to feel worthy when things are going well, when you're achieving, when you're admired, when life seems to bend in your favor. But when everything crumbles, when you're left standing in the wreckage of your own life, that's when your self-respect is truly tested. It's in the depths of despair, in those long nights when you question your purpose, when you're consumed by shame and self-doubt, that you find out who you really are. Most people don't realize this. They think self-respect is something you can carry only when you're on top of the world, when you have everything together. But that's an illusion. Self-respect isn't earned by success. It's rooted in how you stand up in the face of failure, how you carry yourself when there's nothing left but the hollow echo of your own thoughts. In those moments of darkness, when you've lost everything, when your reputation, your relationships, and your sense of security are shattered, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-loathing. It's easy to believe that you're worthless because the world tells you so. It's easy to think that your value is tied to your accomplishments, your appearance, or the approval of others. But if you fall for that lie, if you let those external forces define you, then you will never truly understand what self-respect is. Real respect for yourself means embracing the parts of you that feel broken, the parts that have been discarded, the parts that you don't want anyone to see. It's in those moments of vulnerability and pain that your true worth is revealed. And if you can respect yourself then, when everything else seems to be falling apart, you will have a strength that no one can take from you. You will have the power to rise from the ashes, not because the world has given you permission to do so, but because you've given it to yourself. But that's not easy. It requires you to look at yourself with brutal honesty, to confront the lies you've told yourself, to stop running from the darkness within you. It's a journey that demands self-compassion, the kind of compassion that doesn't judge you for your mistakes or your failures, but that accepts them as part of who you are. You have to stop hiding from the parts of yourself you hate and start accepting them as part of your humanity. Because if you can't love yourself in those moments when the world turns its back on you, then what kind of respect do you truly have? Self-respect isn't a badge you wear when life is easy. It's not something you can flaunt when everything is going your way. True self-respect is the quiet strength you carry when you've lost everything and still refuse to give up. It's the ability to stand tall even when you're trembling inside, because you know that your worth is not defined by the world's approval, but by the fact that you choose to respect yourself in spite of it all. And that is the kind of respect that lasts. So you might ask, how do you begin? How do you cultivate this inner authority, this unwavering respect for yourself? It's not easy. It never is. Self-respect isn't something you can simply conjure with a few affirmations or self-help quotes. It's forged in the deepest recesses of your soul, tempered by your darkest fears and most painful truths. And that's where Carl Jung's lesson comes into play, because to understand self-respect, you must first confront your own darkness. Jung taught us that the path to inner authority begins by embracing what we are, not what we wish to be. There is a terrible beauty in this idea. To respect yourself fully, you must first know the worst parts of you, the parts others would rather you hide, the rage, the jealousy, the darkness that lurks beneath the surface. These are not flaws, they are fragments of your truth. And only by accepting them, by allowing them a space within you, can you step into your full power. But the world doesn't want you to do that. It wants you to conform, to bow, to fit neatly into the expectations laid out for you. From the moment you are born, there are rules, whispers, and constraints imposed on you. They want you to play the game, to be what they want you to be. And if you don't, they will punish you. People will call you arrogant, selfish, or worse, unworthy. But what they don't understand is that self-respect is non-negotiable. It is the foundation of everything you are. Without it, you will bend, you will break, you will surrender pieces of yourself until there's nothing left but a hollow shell, a puppet on strings. And that's not living, that's survival. The true cost of self-respect is not the moments of defiance, nor the battles you fight against others. It's the silence you endure, the moments when you're alone with your thoughts, staring into the abyss of your own mind. It's when you stand on the edge of losing everything and yet refuse to compromise who you are. This is where your inner authority is born. You may lose friends, lovers, or entire parts of your life, but in those losses, you gain something far more valuable. You gain yourself. And once you've stood firm in your self-respect, no one can take it from you. Not the world, not the lies they feed you, and certainly not your own doubt. Jung understood that inner authority is built on acceptance, on the refusal to diminish your worth to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. It's a silent, often painful battle. You don't win it by yelling or demanding respect from others. You win it by becoming a presence that commands respect without saying a word. You become your own standard and you stop allowing anyone to dictate your value. So how do you begin? You start by standing in your own truth, by confronting the darkness, by holding your ground when everything around you pushes you to conform. It will be brutal. It will test you. But the reward, self-respect, self-authority, self-possession, is worth every sacrifice. Because when you learn to respect yourself, you unlock the one power no one can take away from you, the power of being untouchable. It's a painful journey, a constant reckoning with your own lies, your own guilt, your own flaws. You must stop pretending to be something you're not. You must stop bending to the will of others. Stop seeking validation from external sources. Stop hiding behind masks of perfection or performance. The moment you give up your power to the world, to their opinions, to their judgments, you lose yourself. You surrender the very thing that could set you free, your own authenticity. Every time you act in accordance with someone else's expectations, you betray your true self. And with that betrayal comes the slow erosion of respect for who you are. When you allow others to dictate your worth, you turn into a hollow shell, chasing after fleeting approval like a dog chasing a stick, never catching it, always just out of reach. This constant search for validation is nothing but a prison, and the bars are made of your own insecurities. You might think you're being good, smart, or successful, but in reality, you're just playing the role that's been assigned to you by people who don't even see the real you. And the longer you keep up this act, the further you drift from yourself. The world doesn't owe you approval, but you owe yourself the truth. and that truth is harsh. It's terrifying. It's a truth that strips you down, showing you all the parts you've tried to bury, the wounds you've ignored, the lies you've told yourself to get by. But it's only in confronting these shadows that you begin to understand the profound weight of self-respect. When you stop looking for validation in places you'll never find it, you finally realize that the only place you need to seek approval is within yourself. Self-respect isn't a luxury, it's an absolute necessity for survival. If you keep looking for others to tell you who you are, you will never know who you really are. You will forever be shaped by the will of those who refuse to see you, who don't care to understand your struggles, your pains, your complexities. They only care about what you can offer them. And as soon as you stop being useful, as soon as you fail to meet their expectations, they will abandon you without a second thought. The moment you stop conforming to their wishes, you will be discarded, left to rot in the corner of their empty world. But you don't have to live that way. You can break free from the endless cycle of pleasing others, of pretending to be someone you're not. But it requires a brutal honesty with yourself. It demands that you strip away the facades, the pretenses, the lies, and face the parts of you that are too raw, too dark for anyone to understand. It's an uncomfortable, painful journey, but it's the only one worth taking. The world will not make this easy for you. It will keep pushing you, keep telling you that you're not enough unless you fit their mold, unless you comply with their expectations. But the only question that matters is, do you respect yourself enough to say no? Do you have the courage to refuse to be molded by others, to stop chasing their fleeting approval, to stop measuring your worth by their standards? Because the moment you stop seeking validation from others is the moment you start claiming your power back. You take control over your life, over your choices, over the person you are becoming. And it starts by looking yourself in the mirror and acknowledging that you deserve respect, not because of what you do or what you give to the world, but simply because you exist. You are worthy because you are human. That is the foundation of self-respect. In the silence, in the quiet, is where you'll find your truth. And that truth may not be pretty. It might shatter everything you thought you knew about yourself. But it is the only foundation upon which true self-respect can be built. Jung's words ring even truer the deeper you go into your own psyche. You think you can find self-respect by controlling the world around you. You think that if you can make the world see you, appreciate you, maybe you can start to see yourself too. But that's where you're wrong. Self-respect doesn't come from others. It's not about manipulating situations to get the outcome you want or forcing people to accept your version of reality. It doesn't come from bending the world to fit your narrative, because in truth, the world doesn't care about your narrative. It doesn't care about your pain, your desires, or your fragile sense of self. The world doesn't stop for you, and when you try to force it to, it'll break you. And that brokenness, that emptiness you feel, is the price you pay for refusing to face the truth. Carl Jung understood this. He understood that the greatest battle you face is the one within, the battle to face yourself. The battle to accept who you are, not just the parts you like, but the parts that terrify you, the parts that make you uncomfortable, the parts you've shoved down so deep that you've forgotten they even exist. But they're still there, festering, poisoning your soul. And every time you refuse to acknowledge them, they grow stronger. And in this refusal, you lose the ability to truly respect yourself. You become a slave to your own denial, a puppet to your own insecurities. Self-respect doesn't come from what others think of you. It's not about how many followers you have or how many people validate your existence. That's the lie the world wants you to believe, because as long as you're searching for approval from others, you'll never stop feeling empty. You'll never stop feeling like you're not enough. The real question is, why aren't you enough for yourself? Why do you need others to tell you that you matter when you should already know? Why can't you look in the mirror and see someone worthy of respect? The answer is simple and terrifying. It's because you don't. You don't respect yourself. You never have, and you won't, not until you start confronting the darkness inside you. Not until you stop running from the parts of you that are broken, lost, and ugly. Only when you accept those parts can you begin to rebuild your sense of self. But even then, it won't be easy. Because once you acknowledge that darkness, it will consume you. It will make you question everything you thought you knew about yourself. Self-respect isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's not about wearing the right clothes, saying the right things, or playing the role everyone else expects you to play. It's about looking at the parts of you that no one else sees, the parts that are too raw, too real, and saying, I accept you. And when you do that, you will start to feel the weight of your own truth. And it will feel like a crushing burden, but it's the only way to free yourself. You will no longer seek validation from others because you will no longer need it. But that doesn't mean you will be free from the pain. The pain of self-awareness, of truly knowing yourself, is something most people avoid their entire lives. But if you choose to face it, if you choose to stop running, you will realize that self-respect is not a gift. It's a battle. And you can only win that battle when you stop pretending to be someone you're not. Only then can you start to rebuild the wreckage of your soul into something whole. Only then will you truly begin to respect yourself. It's about owning your own mind, your own emotions, your own thoughts. It's about creating a fortress within, a place where you are the authority. And that means accepting that there are parts of you that are flawed, dark, and perhaps even dangerous. But those parts don't make you weak, they make you human. And in accepting them, in truly facing them, you can reclaim your power. It's not a quick fix. It's not a one-time decision. Self-respect is built over time, through 1,000 small decisions to stand by your truth, even when the world tells you to hide it. It's built in the moments when you feel alone, when you feel unworthy, when you're tempted to bend under the pressure. It's built in the nights when the darkness seems overwhelming, and you're tempted to throw everything away for a quick escape. In those moments, self-respect demands that you stay. It demands that you face yourself, even when you'd rather look away. Because in the end, the only thing that can truly destroy you is the betrayal of your own soul. The question you need to ask yourself is, what are you willing to sacrifice to maintain your self-respect? Because it will cost you something. It will cost you the illusion of control over how others see you. It will cost you the fantasy of being liked by everyone. It will cost you the comfort of staying silent when you should speak, of avoiding conflict to keep the peace. But in exchange, it will give you something far more valuable: freedom. The freedom to be yourself, unapologetically. The freedom to walk away from toxic relationships, from situations that drain you, from anything that doesn't honor your worth. And that freedom, that quiet power, is something no one can take from you. When you begin to accept yourself fully, when you stop apologizing for who you are and start owning it, you unlock an inner strength that no one can touch. That strength is your shield. It is what keeps you standing even when the world tries to break you. It is what keeps you grounded when everyone around you is falling apart. It is what protects your soul from the poison of doubt and fear that others try to inject into you. But this is where things get complicated. Because as much as you may want to claim your self-respect, there's a price to pay. There will be moments when you'll have to choose between self-respect and acceptance. There will be times when people will try to tear you down, when they will try to make you feel small, when they will try to make you doubt your worth. And in those moments you must make a choice. Will you let their words, their actions define who you are? Or will you hold firm to your own truth, to the respect you have cultivated within yourself? The moment you let others dictate your worth, the moment you let their judgments and opinions become more important than your own self-respect, you've already lost. This is the price of self-respect, the price of owning yourself fully. It means standing alone sometimes. It means saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It means holding your ground when the world wants you to back down. It means facing your flaws, your demons, and your darkest truths, and still saying, I am enough. And that is terrifying, because it forces you to confront the fact that there is nothing more important than your inner authority. And once you claim that, once you make it yours, you cannot go back. You cannot unsee the truth that lies within you. You cannot ignore the power you have to define yourself, to respect yourself, to live on your own terms. So, the question remains, will you choose self-respect no matter the cost? Will you choose to face your own darkness and own your power? Or will you keep running from yourself, afraid of what you might find in the depths of your own soul? The answer is yours. And once you find it, once you step into the truth of who you are, you will never be the same again. Self-respect is not optional. It is not a luxury. It is the foundation of your existence, the root of your power. Without it, you are lost, but with it, you are unstoppable.